right, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Like, share, subscribe, Cash App, $ Winston Spivey. So this is not a good story. I'm very displeased about hearing what I'm hearing. But this stuff goes on all across the country. I didn't get his name, police chief. I do know that he's a brother out there in Raleigh, North Carolina. And he did a press conference. Actually, let me see here. Today's Monday, so he did it Friday. I saw the video last night, but I didn't get a chance to make it until today. Where they have a former officer by the name of Tremel Cogdale. All right, Tremel Cogdale. And 28 years old, first officer that he done got arrested. All right, and following, well, let me explain the backstory to you. So this happened September 12th, okay, roughly 3-4 weeks ago, excuse me, where this officer had responded to, it was a car crash out there, okay? And there was an arrest made, so that probably says that the crash person that got into the crash was more than likely under the influence, okay? But nevertheless, the person was put in custody. Now, instead of that officer properly, processing this person and made sure that she didn't have, or he, okay, I'm thinking more than likely it was a she, okay, that's just my opinion. Make sure that that individual, instead of making that officer making sure the individual had whatever proper medical care, that's if that person got hurt. This man drove this person to his home and had an SE actual encounter, okay, and that's what happened, and was released. Which, all right, now, I guess what happened was the person went and complained, and it was brought to the Internal Affairs office out there, Raleigh Police. Okay, the police chief heard about it, and also with the state heard about it. Okay, so it was an investigation that was made parallel to the state of North Carolina, along with the Raleigh police. Okay, and when that happened, that officer was put on administrative leave. Okay, until they got the situation resolved. All right, now this happened this past Friday. Let's see here. Today is I believe the 6th. So the 3rd, that person was terminated and charged with obstruction of justice. Okay, let me see here. It was a felony. Let me see here. Sexual misconduct with a person in custody, and I guess it was sexual misconduct charge, I guess, as a police officer. So these are like 3 felonies, okay? And, he has been transported to that correctional facility, all right? And I'm going to tell you, that chief, man, I could just tell on the expression that he had on his face, man, he was not happy at all, okay? Because many of these police officials, such as himself, that kind of thing, state police, with the reputation in a lot of these different, large cities and things of that nature, where people are feeling though the police are derelict in duty, and I think he got another charge for derelict in duty for like an officer, as a police officer, okay? But they feel as though that people are not safe, despite all this tax money going to the police force to be these cities. There's still a lot of crime and things like that. And I've even said this before. It's gotten to a lot of the crimes that metastasize out in the suburbs into areas where there's a lot of money being invested, in a lot of high value communities and so forth. Okay, it affects tourism, that kind of thing. Okay, so now you also have to look with the Trump administration threatening to bring in the guard and things like that to a lot of these cities. All right, then what I'm thinking is a lot of the chief and things like that is going to be the job to the mayor, the chief, and at times the governor to maintain that integrity within the city or whatever, and try to bring back that trust to the city. And really, I'm thinking with the Trump administration doing what they're doing, that they're holding all the police departments, okay, to the fire and things of that nature, okay, or at least threatening to do what they're doing and all that, based on what's going on in Chicago, So this man has got to hear about stuff like this, or when cops are out of pocket, that kind of thing. Okay, let me check the time here. All right, because it's making people think this. Okay, the police are not protecting our community. Okay, they're doing a half-behind job with that. Okay, some of these doggone police, they're taking 30, 45 minutes or whatever to respond. And people need help and that kind of thing. Crime, is up and that kind of thing. And then on top of that, you got the police over there. All right, they were doing this type of stuff on top of that. Okay, so he's got to hear about it. All right, I'm pretty sure that's not the first time out there in Raleigh that there's other little towns and cities that type of stuff goes on. Things like that, police brutality and mistreatment of people and all that. Okay, so I'm thinking this is what more than likely city officials and these police officials, whatever, the high-ranking officials or whatever, are going to have to embellish these days or whatever, trying to uphold the reputation, that kind of thing, to try to relish or bring back a lot of the public trust back and to protect the communities. Okay, because once again, a lot of these police cities and things like that are not doing a good job of doing that. All right, and yes, a lot of that is done by design. Okay, so anyway, and there you have it. This is not a good story. I believe this is something that stood out, and I thought I'd bring it to you. You know what I'm saying? That I would just challenge you, okay? That anybody that's listening to this, and you were in a position where you law enforcement or in public trust, to do your doggone job, okay? Do what the taxpayers pay you to do. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Stay tuned for the next video here. I'm gonna make about this preacher here that I found out that did something heinous, and he's not the only one. But we're gonna get to it because this guy done built a mega church. Okay, and let me know what you think. All right, more content coming.